put that up on the screen. All right. So anyway, I hope you was able to stay warm, maybe get a few things done that you wanted to do, just fun stuff perhaps yesterday. Always nice. Let's see. Make sure I got this the way I need to have it set up. Okay. All right, let's get things started here. We only got so much time. So anyone else, hopefully they'll become wandering in here in the next couple of minutes. So I don't have to count them absent today, but I'm going to put up on the screen. All right, actually, I want to start on our Google Classroom page. I want to go here real quick and remind everyone on the classwork tab, if you click on the classwork, right at the top, how to program video series. So especially if you're new to this class this semester, haven't done any Python programming before, and there's a couple of folks that are still trying to figure out Python because they haven't done that. I have all these videos, and if you haven't watched these videos to learn how to get some programming, that's the first thing you need to do. You need to click on, and when you're watching them, you need to be pausing the videos and trying it at the same time. Open up a Python window, which is in the first video, because again, when you click on this, the first video is basically an intro, and it tells you where to find the programming window. So where do you click to be able to program at? So you need to pause the video, go do that. So you have the programming window open, then go back to the video. And as it does things, go pause, type those in yourself to see how they work. And so here you go, how to, what every program should include. That's the first one you should watch. And it will go over the very basics. And so you should watch that video and then try that. And then when you watch the next one, have that programming window open and type those in. Put a print statement in. Make sure you understand how it works. You can do it without errors while you have the video paused. So that's the best way to get into this. To learn any of this is you need to be working with the video, not just watching the video. We don't remember much when we just watch something. We remember a lot more when we actually do something. So we'll pause the video and practice those things as you're seeing them on the video. So just want to remind everyone, it's right there at the top. It'll stay at the top. I'm not going to put it down in the weeks. It will be up here the whole time. So that is available for you. All right, let's go to our programming class, Foundations of Programming 7th period, see what we have this week. We always start on the grade screen where we can see we've had the Welcome Back Program Assignment decisions. And this week is 4.02 more decisions. That's what's due this Sunday, January 26th. So we're going to look at this, and we have an assignment that's a program this week. So we're going to have to write a program. So any of you students that still haven't written your Welcome Back program, you're about to be 2 programs behind. And you know how easy it is to get behind in this class. You need to get caught up in a hurry. I was hoping some of you used your day off yesterday to get caught up if you were behind. I saw a little bit of stuff turned in today. 4.02. Oh, close that. Don't need that. Right here. Welcome back. More decisions right there. 4.02 lesson. The power of if. So not all decisions are one-dimensional. In fact, most decisions are complex. I mean, we've looked at if statements. Like going for a walk example. If your walking path is closed, right? You usually go down this one trail or whatever, and it's closed today. So you can either skip your walk or you can do something else. Take a different path, maybe do some yoga, maybe climb a tree, maybe ride a bicycle. I don't know, whatever you want. Just because the first part of your decision doesn't work, doesn't mean you just have to quit because you have options. So after completing this lesson, we're going to be able to identify if-else and elif statements and explain how to use those and use those statements to make decisions. So let's go to page 2. See what this is all about. Making multiple decisions. So with if statements, if the condition is true, you take an action. If it's false, you skip it and don't do anything, right? If you win a race, you get a medal. If you don't win, you don't. You get nothing. You didn't win. However, more often than not, you want to write programs that can handle multiple decisions. So this is where the if else and elif statements come in handy. So you don't have to do a whole bunch of if statements. You can expand. So let's see how these two statements work. With an if else statement, if the condition is true, then you do whatever the action is. And if it's false, you can tell it to do a different action. So if it's true, do this, but if it's false, do this. So you can give it a choice to do something either way, depending, If you win the race, you get a medal, but if you don't win, you'll just get a participation ribbon. Hey, thanks for coming out. Let's look at elif statements, because these are closely related to if else. But elif statements allow you to check multiple conditions. Is this true? Yes or no. Oh, it's not? Okay, check this. Is this true? Yes or no. That's not true. Okay, check this. You can do multiple things. For example, if you come in first place in the race, you get the blue ribbon, the first place medal. Elif basically means else. If that's not true, then check this. You come in second, then you'll get the second place silver medal. So if that's not true, check this. If you come in third, you get the third place medal. And if that's not true, you just get a participation ribbon. So that can check multiple things without having to write if. You can use elif to embed that in your first if statement. So depending on the program that you're writing, you'll want to use the decision statement that matches the level of decision making you're trying to execute. If it's just a simple yes or no decision, just use an if statement. If you have two options, you use the if else statement. If you have more than that, the elif. So let's see how each of these work here. So for if statement, you come down to this condition. Is this true? Yes. Do this code. Then go on. You come down to condition. Is this true? No, it's false. I'll go around that and just go on. So that's the if statement. Hey, if it's true, I want you to stop and do this. Otherwise, just continue on. Forget it. The if else statement says, is this condition true? Yes, I want you to go do this. But if it's false, I want you to do this. Either way, after you do whichever one you do, continue on. So it's going to do something, if or else. If that's true, this, else do this. The elif right here comes down. Is this true? Yes. Okay, go do that. And then continue on. If that's not true, check this. Is this true? It is? Okay, then do that. And then continue on. But if that's not true, then we'll check this. And then do that. And then continue on. Or if none of those are true, just do this thing instead and then continue on. So, and we could put as many conditions as we want. We can have 5 conditions. We can have 8 conditions. It doesn't matter. This just shows 3 so far. But you can just check, and work. So we have lots of options when it comes to decision making in our program. So that's going to give us a lot more flexibility. If else statement. So life would get pretty boring if you only had one option for everything you wanted to do. That's why you get to make choices. For example, if you want to play a game solo, you just choose to play offline, right? I'll just play this video game. I don't need to get online. Or else I can select the online option and play against other people in their houses online. So it's if else situation. Do I want to stay offline and play by myself, or do I want to get online and play with other players? So Python is a pretty easy setup. This is the if else scenario. It uses the Boolean logic to determine whether a condition is true. And if it is true, it'll execute that block of code that follows the if statement. If it's not true, it'll execute the else block of code. So let's take a look at some actual code here. Starts out with a variable, age, equals, and it's an integer. They know the person is going to enter a number. Input, what is your age? So this is an input statement where the user is going to run the program, and then they're going to enter their age in this pop-up box. So then we have this if statement. If age is greater than or equal to 17. If it's greater than, so 17, 18, 38, 57, whatever. If it's greater than or equal to 17, print, enjoy the movie. So obviously this is a rated R movie. You have to be 17 or older to enter. So enjoy the movie because you're at least 17 or older. Else, Oh, you're 16. Oh, you're 4. You're 11. Anything that's not greater than or equal to 17, it'll print, please bring a parent or guardian. Because those under 17 not admitted without parent or guardian. So this is a simple if-else statement. It's going to do one or the other. It's definitely going to print something. If this is true, it's going to print this. If it's not true, it's going to go down to the else and print this instead. It's only going to print one or the other. It will not do both. And it won't do nothing. It'll have to do the first one or the second one. So it will definitely do something. So in this code, you're asking the user to enter his or her age before buying a ticket to a movie that has age restrictions. Using the if statement, Python will compare the age with the number 17 and then uses Boolean logic to determine whether or not it is greater than or equal to 17. And if it is 17 or higher, it'll print enjoy the movie. And if not, or else, we could say, please bring a parent or guardian. So with if-else statements, Python will always take some action. It'll either do this or it'll do that. One or the other, if we have an if-else. So one or the other is going to happen. The if statement will check to see if something's true, and this is going to happen. If it's false, that is going to happen. So here's some practice. This is what we need to do. Every week, you need to go in here and practice with these things, change some lines of code, change some numbers, something. Read over the code, predict the output, run the program. Look at the output. So define main. There's our main function. We're setting x equal to 20 and y equal to 30. And we're going to print facts about A and B. See, we did something similar last time that we looked at if statements, but just with if statements. Now we're saying if x is equal to y, print x equals y, else print x is not equal to y. So one if statement, an if-else statement, we can check and print either way. Is it equal to y or is it not equal to y? 20 and 30. Let's run. Facts about A and B, because it prints that regardless. That's before the if statement. Then it gets to the if statement and it said, oh, this is not true. It's false. So I'm going to skip this. So I'll do the else. X is not equal to y, because that's what we told it to do. If they're not equal, do that. All right, let's change this. 30 equals 30 now. Now it prints x equals y, because we changed the numbers so they're the same. Which it may have us do that in the next one. Let's see. No, this is a different code. Was it going to have us change it over here? Oh, yeah, change the values of x and y. So we did that. All right, this one says read over the code, select run program. All right, let's do that first. Show, here's a variable, and it's an input statement. When is the movie, afternoon or evening? So we're telling the person what to enter, either enter afternoon or enter evening. If the show equals afternoon. So if the person types afternoon, then the ticket cost is $5.50. It's a matinee price. Else, ticket's going to be $8. Print cost of tickets. So let's run the program. It says, when is the movie? I'll say afternoon. Cost tickets, $5.50. Now I'll run it and I'll say it's an evening show, $8. So that is the if-else statement at work. When I typed in the word afternoon, then this was true, and it made $5.50 equal to the ticket price. Otherwise, it made it $8. Try inputting different values for show. All right, let's do this. What if I said afternoon? And look, I capitalized the A. It charged me $8 because I didn't type it exactly what it's looking for. Indent the print statement another level. Okay, we're going to indent this print statement another level. Now it's indented the same as ticket cost equal 8. Run the code and input afternoon. Okay, run. There was no output. It's blank. I ran it. I typed afternoon. It was blank. Well, let's see what happens. So when I ran this, the input said, when is the movie? And I typed the word afternoon. Then it came down to this if statement. It says, if show equals afternoon. And that was true. So it set the ticket cost to $5.50. So that means it skips the else. Since it was true, it skips the else. And now that this is indented, this is part of the else. It only does that if this is not true, because I indented it. Because everything that's indented is part of the else. Everything that's indented up here is part of the if. So if I would have put evening, now it prints my ticket cost because that's part of the else statement. So indentation matters. That's how it knows what all is part of the if and what's part of the else. Let's look at slide number 3. From random import. Oh, we're doing some random stuff here. Define main. Flips equal integer. Enter the number of coin flips. We have this input statement. And it says heads equals 0 and tails equals 0. And then we're doing a loop for count in range of whatever the person types in. If I say do 10 flips, it'll do 10. If I say 100, it'll do 100. Result equals random. So this is a random number from 0 to less than 1. So if I just say random, it'll choose a number between 0 and 1, which means it's choosing a fraction or a decimal number, if you want to think of it that way. And we're saying if the result of this random number is less than 0.5, we're going to say that it ended up heads on our coin flip. And so we'll add 1 to the heads count. But if the number is greater or equal to 0.5, it'll add 1 to the tails count. And it'll do this however many times flips equals. It's going to run this for loop over and over and over. We're flipping the coins and keeping track of how many times it's heads and how many times it's tails. And then at the end, it's going to print a blank line and then coin toss results and then print this line. And it's going to print how many heads and how many tails. All right, so let's try this. When we run this, 10, we're going to say 10 coin flips. And what do you know? It ended up 5 and 5. The random feature was pretty random. Let's try it again. Let's do 10 again. Oh, this time it ended up 4 heads and 6 tails. Let's run it 100 times. 61 heads, 39 tails. Well, that's pretty off balance. How about 10,000 coin flips? Almost 50-50, but there's 5,084 heads, 4916 tails. Just a random coin flip program. So how many times you want to flip it? All right, let's look at this last one here. Import turtle. We're going to do some graphics. The if-else statement. We're defining a function called draw face. Oh, I probably need a video for creating your own functions. I got to write that down. Pseudocode video. Define function. All right, put that in my notes. This function draws a face. So it says the color's going to be yellow. Pick the pen up, move over this position, put the pen down, fill in whatever I draw. So it's going to color it in and make a circle and in the fill. So it's going to fill in the circle yellow. Then we have a whole different function to draw the eyes. So this function draws an eye. It's going to make blue eyes, pick the pen up, move over to this spot, put your pen down, and make a small circle, 15, and fill it up with blue. Then pick the pen up, move over here, put it back down, and make another circle as blue. So make 2 eyes. Then we have another function, draw a frown. This function draws a frown. So make a red, make it a width of 10, pick the pen up, move over here, turn left 90 degrees, put the pen down, and make a circle that's a half circle, 180 degrees, size 40. Then draw a smile. I'm going to go red with a width of 10, pick the pen up, move over to this position. So you're having to figure out what position, like on an XY coordinate. Turn right 90, put the pen down, and make a half circle again. So we have a frown and a smile and 2 eyes and a face. Now we're finally down to the main function. This is where our program's going to start, right? T equals turtle. We just named it T. That's kind of boring. You could do something more fun. We said move at a speed of 10. And we said, I want you to draw this face and then draw the eyes. Smile equals input. So this is a variable. Do puppies make you smile? Yes or no? Y or N, Y or N. And if you say Y, it's going to run the function that draws a smile. Else, if you don't say Y, it's going to run the function that draws a frown. And then there's the end right there where we have our main function. So we defined a face, eye function, a smile function, a frown function, and then our main function. And so when we run our main function here, has that input statement. So let's start it. Run. Okay. Notice it drew the face and the eyes. It didn't finish coloring it in until it went to the input. Do puppies make you smile? We'll say Y. There it is. It made a little half circle, filled it in, makes a happy face. Let's run it again. Let's say N. No, puppies don't make me smile. They stink a lot. They put hair all over the place and they poop on the carpet. Okay, then we'll draw a sad face. So that's using turtle graphics and putting an if statement in there to help determine what do you draw, which is related a lot to this week's assignment. So you may want to pay a lot of attention to that example. You may want to come play with this example because this week's program is going to be similar to this. Let's look at the last page here. Here's the thing. Sometimes you need more than two options. So we were just looking at if else. Now we're going to look at the elif. This is where elif statements come in. Think of the combination of two words, the words else and if. If this is true, this. Else, if this is true, do this. Else, if this is true. So input, grade equals input. What is your grade? So I want you to enter a letter grade. If grade equals A, print excellent. Else, if, elif, grade equals B, print good job. Else, if grade equals C, print, well, that's a nice start. Try to study more next time. Else, and this last one is just an else. That means if nothing up here is true, do this. Print, please reach out to your teacher. So here you've asked the user to input the grade. It's going to compare it with the options A, B, or C in order, one at a time, and determine whether it matches the response. And when it finds a match, it'll stop checking everything and just print what's supposed to print there. So if you enter A, it's not going to check all those elifs because this will be true. It'll print excellent and then exit to the very bottom because it doesn't need to check all these else ifs. So with elif statements, Python may or may not take an action. If choice equals X, do this if it's true. Else, if choice equals Y, do that if that's true. Else, if the choice equals Z, then do the other thing if that's true. Else, and this is the default thing that if nothing's true. So let's look at another guided activity using else if, elifs. The elif statement. We're saying A is 10 and B is 200. And we're going to print facts about A and B. So here's what we're checking. If A equals B, then print that. A equals B. Elif, which means else, if that's not true, check to see if this is true. Is A greater than B? If it is, then we'll print A is greater than B. If that's not true, else, if this is true, is A less than B, print A is less than B. And if none of these are true, print there was an error because this says, are they equal to each other or is this one bigger or is this one bigger? And if none of those are true, there was a problem because it has to be one or the other. Either one number is bigger than the other one or they're equal to each other. Main function. Okay, let's run this and see what it looks like with A equals 10, B equals 200. Facts about A and B. A is less than B. Just change the values of A and B. All right, now let's change A to be 199, where B is 200. Oh, still A is less than B. How about if it's 299? A is greater than B. And what if they're both 299? A equals B. Then it found this first statement was true, and it printed that, and then it skipped all the way to the bottom because it was done. There was no need to check anything else. All right, let's look at the second example here. The elif statement, print who won the game. And it's got your score and my score. Your score is 95.20. My score is 99.05. And it's checking. If your score is greater, print you win. Else, if your score is less than my score, print I win. Otherwise, print we tie. So let's run. Who won the game? I win. Because my score was 99.05 and yours only 95.20. All right, so let's change yours to be 99.20. So now you got 99.20 and I've got 99.05. You win. Oh, let's say I found 15 more points. We tied. So we're testing everything. We're testing when I win, when you win, and when we're equal to make sure it works that way. All right, let's look at the last sample program they give us. Oh, turtle graphics again. Better pay attention. We're going to write a program this week. Define a sunburst. Okay, so it's going to draw a sunburst. Move to a position. So pick the pin up, go to this XY position, set position XY. So whatever the X and Y is. Here's the direction I want you to go. I want you to go 270 degrees. So it'll be going down. Put your pin down and make it gold. Okay, that's the sunburst. Draw a star. So go to this position. Oh, and it's really wild. X minus X divided by 1.75. So that's going to randomize it. Depending on what X and Y were, it's going to change. Here's a loop that goes 40 times. It's going to go forward 60 pixels and turn left 130 degrees. Now we're going to define, see, that's part of the sunburst. So it's going to move right here first, make it gold, and then do this loop to draw it using this kind of set position calculation. Spiral twist. This function draws an eye. Well, I don't think it draws an eye anymore. I think they copied their last program because it's not drawing an eye, it's drawing a spiral twist. They copied their last program and forgot to change that because last time it drew a face and eyes and all that stuff. Blue, pin up, move to this position, put the pin down, and then use this loop to go forward whatever length that the loop is on. It's going to start at 0. So first it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to turn 91 degrees. Then it's going to go 1 and turn 91 degrees. Then it's going to go 2. Well, actually, it's going by 2s. So it's going to 0 and then 2 and then 4 and then 6 and then 8. And it's going to keep doing that, moving forward a little bit farther each time until it gets to 75. And then it's going to stop. Oh, and see, it says this draws a frown. I don't think it draws a frown. It draws a doily. So go to this position, put the pin down. This is a loop inside of a loop. So it's going to do this loop twice. And once it goes into the first loop, it'll do 5 loops of B. It's going to be green, a circle, move forward. So it's going to draw 2 circles, one smaller than the other, to move forward 20 pixels. Have a third loop that's going to do 3 times. Yellow, it's going to turn right and go forward 3 times. Forward 40, left 36. And then it's going to come back, it's going to do this 5 times. And after it does that 5 times, it'll repeat it again. So altogether, there's a whole bunch of loops in there. And here's a menu, define print menu. So this function prints a menu to the screen. So basically, it should print menu of turtle patterns. Do you want to draw a sunburst, a spiral twist, a doily, or do you just want to exit? Here's our main function. This is where the program will come down and start. When we run our main function, it will say P equals turtle dot turtle. Set the turtle at a speed of 10. We're going to set the choice equal to -1 because we're going to enter 1, 2, 3, or 4, and they want to make sure it doesn't come in already with a choice. So while the choice is not equal to 4, because remember when they enter 4, we're exiting. We're not going to do anything anymore. While it's not equal to 4, print this menu. Go up and use that print menu function, and then have an input statement. Look at the menu. Which item would you like to draw? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Select 4 to exit. And if they choose 1, it's going to go draw the sunburst. If it chooses 2, it's going to draw the spiral twist. 3, the doily. These are all functions that were defined up above. If they choose 4, it's going to say, thank you for drawing today, and end the program. And if there's something other than 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll say, oops, that's an invalid option. Try again, because they didn't enter 1, 2, 3, or 4. They entered something different. So let's run the program. It pops up. Look at the menu. Now, unfortunately, our version of Python does not print it before the input statement. We put the code before the input statement, but it won't show us until after the first time we use the menu. So I'm just going to say 1. When I enter a 1, oh, there's the sunburst. Look at it drawing the sunburst there. And then it brings the menu up again because I haven't said 4 yet. So now I'll say 3. I'll do the doily, 3. Oh, the doily's down here. That's where it does the 2 loops, and inside that's 5 loops, and inside that's 3 loops. So it's going around and drawing the yellow and the green. 3 times it does the yellow for every 1 time it does the green, and it does it twice. And then let's choose 2. We haven't done that yet. There's the one where it goes a little bit longer each time from 0 to 75. And I'll choose 4 to exit. And now it got out. But each time it printed this menu. See, every time. And depending on what I chose on the menu, it went up here and ran a different function. It ran the doily function. It ran the spiral twist function. It ran the sunburst function, whatever that is. So that's how you can use that to give the user a choice on what to draw. This is a great lesson to study. This is a great program to study, slide 3 of 3, for our assignment this week. So let's go to the end here. Okay, that was the last page. This is page 5 of 5, but it just tells you, look at the lesson, practice, and then do the template. All right. Submit the assignment following the instructions of the lesson. Go to Google Classroom, week 21. Do this week with template. Look at our template for our program that we have to write this week. If you need to review turtle graphics, which we just saw turtle graphics in our sample lesson, so you can certainly start there. But otherwise, here's a link to that YouTube video that I have on how to do turtle graphics. So that's a link right here. All right, write a program to move the turtle based on the user's request. That's kind of what the program we just did. The user would request, and it would draw a shape based on what the user said. This is going to be a little different. So use Python idle. All right, use Python idle. Make sure you get your name, date, description, program. Use your indentation and white space. Use meaningful variable names. That's every program. Create a menu that gives the user options for moving the turtle. The menu should contain letters or numbers that make the turtle go forward, backward, or draw a circle or a square, whatever you want it to do. Right? So you got to use at least one if or else or elif statement, and it should be used to move the turtle based on the user's input. See, that makes sense. If I say 1, 2, or 3, or 4, do you want to move left? Do you want to move forward? Do you want to move right? You want to turn left, move forward, or turn right? I would need to use an elif, right? If the user said L, turn left. If the user said forward, go forward. Else if, A loop is optional, but you may need it to make things work right. Make sure you use one color other than black. So you write your plan here, write your pseudocode. Here's some example what somebody had. They had a menu turtle. F goes forward, B moves backwards, L is turn left, R is turn right, and quit. And so here was a game. They said, try to get the turtle in the pond. And then they wrote a program, and the person, they turned right, they went forward, they turned left, they went forward, they turned right, they went forward again, and ended up in the pond. Good job. They hit Q and they won. So Put your code here, put a screenshot of what it looks like at the end, and then answer the 4 questions. So the letters or numbers, whatever they enter on the input, is how the turtle is going to move. What's it going to do? Is it going to turn left? Is it going to go forward? Is it going to go backwards? Whatever it's going to do. Is it going to draw a circle? Is it going to draw a rectangle? Are you doing a game where you already have a circle and the turtle's got to get in the circle? Whatever you want to do. You have lots of freedom on what your program looks like as long as you meet these requirements that's on the page here. All right. Questions on that? It's right there, the template. I'll tell you, this is an A-day Friday. So we only have one other class period on Thursday. If you're struggling with this, come to class Thursday. If your grade's below 70, you have to come Thursday anyway. But if it's above, you don't have to. But if you're working on this program and I'm struggling, I'm getting errors, or I can't figure out what command I would need to do because I want to do this, I don't know how to do that, come to class Thursday. Thursday will be all about helping on coding. It's a coding workshop, if you want to call it that. So come Thursday if you need help on this. But our time is up. Time for me to get the cybersecurity folks in here and let the programming folks go. Go enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you either Thursday or next Tuesday, depending on your grade. So have a great week, guys.